my guest being featured today is a very talented individual. He's an actor, entertainer, writer, producer, among many things. His name is Dario Bellamy Odin, and he goes with the name Daba Davisual.
Daba Davisual! It's great to be featured. I'm being featured.
Well, you were into entertainment from time you were at law school, Harrison College, doing a lot of big things on the stage, getting a lot forward. Talk about those younger days.
Those were very, those are the good days. Still have some good days, but that was the beginning of what was to come. It was very encouraging, and it showed me what I was meant to do, what it was meant to be. When they saw the response from my peers, it showed me that this is the path that you need to follow to become an entertainer and bring some light and joy and excitement to the public.
Yeah, and then you went on to BCC Full Sail University. Talk about that experience.
Well, at the Barbados Community College, I did an associate degree in music where I learned arranging, composing music. I can write music from scratch, stuff like that. And in Full Sail is where I learned production. So that was more of the software side of making the music from scratch, mixing, engineering. So then they got the best of both worlds.
Right, so on different, to me it was a critical move, and it led you down the road to ad services, writing, producing, music in general. But let's start with the music. In 2011, you signed a deal with Tunesburg Record. Talk about that.
Well, I was very fortunate because I was just uploading my music to YouTube. And that was just the thing to do back then. I didn't really expect anything to come of it. But then a guy from Tunesburg Records, he saw one of my songs, PlayStation. Got more game down PlayStation. We said more tracks. Yo! PlayStation was on YouTube, and he saw that, and he was like, I like your vibe, I like your flow. The quality wasn't the best, but you know what? You can send your vocals down here, and we will mix it for you, and we put out your music. And they marketed my songs in Norway, in Sweden, whatnot, and it got some good feedback. I got a few sales on iTunes. Yeah, it was my first experience having my music sold, so that was great.
Yeah,
and Christopher.
Yeah, and then you also done some work with Trey Breezy. Talk about that link.
Breezy! That boy ain't easy. Yeah, Trey Breezy. I actually met him on the set of a movie that I was doing with Excel. The movie is called Too Licorice. So I'm being featured in that film, throughout the entire film, and I'm playing the villain. So I met Trey Breezy on the set, and we were vibing, and he said, we should work together. And that movie should be coming out in the dry season.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of music over the years. Talk about some of the music that you would have done, here in Barbados.
Well, I've done mainly Bajan dancehall, bashment soca, power soca, but I've also done fusions with hip hop. I rap, I chant on hip hop beats, so doing a lot of fusions. Yeah, I even tried my hand at social commentary. At one point, I was in the All Stars Calypso tent, where I would have done a song called iPad, which I wrote, composed, and Tito would have arranged it. And I sang that in the tent, and I got an encore the very first night, the very first time I did social commentary, so I was very pleased about that.
Yeah, and talk about the bashment soca. You mentioned bashment soca as well. There's now a new competition in Barbados, the bashment soca competition. I think it's opening many doors for young musicians and young writers. Talk about what you think about the bashment soca competition.
I think it's a very good move because that's what's trending right now, and that's what's appealing to this generation. And this generation is the future of the music. So it's good to have a competition to encourage young people to focus on their craft and really get out there and be involved. Not just upload songs on the net or just take it as something for fun, but they can actually you can make money from this. They can make a living from it. They'll be able to give back to their families that would have invested in them. So it's good that there's a prize money to be won, and it encourages them and motivates them to know that people take what they do seriously as well. And they take bashment seriously. Yeah,
and some people complain about the prize money only going towards one person. Are you one of the persons that think that it should be first, second, and third place? Spread the money.
That is a ticklish topic. I'm one that I believe in following rules, and if those are the rules that they set, I can't do anything about that. What I would say is that as the Bashment Soca expands, we can look to holding different competitions where they have different rules, and that way people would be able to, everyone would be happy.
Well, the soca music is picking up in Barbados. A lot of young soca artists doing a lot of touring and all sort of stuff. What do you think about the soca industry in Barbados? And if there's anything that you think could be better, to push it to another level?
I am very impressed with the music that has been coming out as of recently. One of the things I keep overhearing behind closed doors is that they need to slow down the soca music. They say it's too fast to appeal to the international market. So one of the things they suggested is that we should slow down the BPMs. So I think that the sweet soca, which they are now doing, I think that's one of the first steps to getting it to be more internationally appealing. And they're already fusing a lot of Afro, R&B, the mixtures of the more American type flavors. So that is helping to take it in the right direction. So I think we're on the way to where we need to go in order to get it internationally. Okay,
and you also tossed your hand into film, some major roles. I saw an interesting Kung Fu movie. Oh, can't remember the name.
Once Upon a Time in Ichigo.
I thought it was an excellent production. Talk about getting the call for that role and talk about the experience on set.
Well, I was at home doing my meditations and I was practicing my Kung Fu while eating my my Chinese food that I got from Bridgetown, and I got a call. I was on my way to an open mic, and the producer for that movie, he saw me and he was like, yo, you want to get into acting? He actually wanted me to do a comedy initially, and he had mentioned the Kung Fu film, but he said he didn't want me for that because he could see the humor in me. I don't know how, because back then it was doing mainly music, but he saw fit that I should do a humorous role. And then later on, I got another call and he said, you know what, I think I'm going to use you for this Kung Fu movie after all. His name was J Life Productions. Yeah. And he was also responsible for producing the Cane Field Killer, which was a series which focused more on me as a solo act. And I also worked with Nitro, so it gave me an opportunity to really show my stuff and show what I could do on the screen as an actor.
You went to social media doing some really funny memes.
Yeah.
Talk about social media, the feedback you got from your memes, and actually how did you get started into doing that?
Well, anybody that grew up with me knows that I have a very vivid imagination. I have a very huge sense of humor. I love cracking jokes. I love making people laugh. And since I've been on social media, memes have played a very big role in the culture of social media, and it always brought me joy to see memes. And I know in the world today, there's a lot of hurt, a lot of people that need motivation. They need to be picked up, and I've always been picked up from memes and comedy in general. And I decided, you know what, I want to be the person responsible for uplifting people. I wanted to be a part of this instrument, to uplift people and help them to not be so distracted by all the pain in the world. So it's very serious. The memes are funny, but I take it very seriously, and I try to pinpoint different aspects of life, troubles that people might be facing that they might not be able to express openly. I'll be their voice. So I make a meme about every single topic. As a matter of fact, people actually think that every single meme I make is about me, but that's not necessarily true. Most of the memes are not even about me. I try to be empathetic, and I try to put myself into people's shoes, and I try to find something relatable that will encourage the public or would open their eyes to something that's going on in society. Well, as you can see, also there's some political memes, which are then giving the people the insight on, what was going on in politics. Even if they weren't into politics, the memes would have piqued that interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know that you were onto something? Some people start with memes and 2 or 3 months to fall off. How do you recognize that you were onto something?
Well, I got lots of feedback, lots of comments. Started getting more and more shares. People actually inbox me and it told me, you know what, you need to keep doing this every day, because you know you make my mornings, you know, your memes really make me happy. Like when they wake up, I actually look forward to seeing your memes. When they come home after a hard day of work, I actually look forward to seeing your memes. So you know, please keep doing this. Make sure it's something daily. And you know, it was a huge task to bear at first, but you know, I try my best to have something every single day. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah, you got an opportunity to work with Seth XL, another comedian. Did more than one advertisement with him. Talk about meeting Seth XL and talk about we're actually doing serious commercial.
Well, I was actually home one day eating my Sunday food, and I got a call from, and the producer wants to remain anonymous, but I got a call from the producer, and he said, you know what, I'd like you to do a skit with Seth. Would you be interested? I was like, sure, when? He said today. Okay, like on what time? In an hour. Okay, so where is this place, St. Philip? I was like, okay, you know, I just, you know, I'd be a team player, and I just went along with it. And it was actually supposed to be one skit. This was the trilogy for the BLP campaign. It was actually supposed to be one skit, but the first skit did so well, we decided that we'd do 2 more and turn it into a trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're now diving into commercials holistically. I guess that's something you do as a job. You make your money doing that. Talk about the experience thus far, because you've done some major projects with some banks and major companies. Talk about the advertising field that you're in.
Okay, well, I guess you're referring to the Burger King commercial I did with Seth. Yeah, that was the most recent commercial, and that was my first commercial that I did on video. And that was fun, because I love Burger King, so I can definitely relate to that message. I agree with everything that has been said about Burger King. It's tasty, it's juicy, and it's worth it. Get your Burger King today. BK forever. But prior to that, I actually did several voiceovers, which have been playing on radio and television for Pine Hill Dairy, Republic Bank, Automotive Arts, Infra Equipment Rentals Limited, and that was via Infra Equipment Rentals Limited. That was actually via Shoestring Studios. So they would call me and they'd be like, yeah, Daba, we have an ad that would suit your vocals and your voice. And yeah, I do ads for them. And there was actually one occasion where they needed more than one actor, but they were pressed for time. So I actually changed my voice into 3 different voices. And I think that was an ad for Automotive Arts. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. You're also pushing a t-shirt line.
Yeah.
Based on the memes. Talk about that project.
Well, you know, it's only fitting that, you know, as Heath Ledger said, if you're good at something, why do it for free? Probably messed up the line, but it was along those lines. So yeah, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just go for it. So I decided, you know, I'm gonna put my memes on some t-shirts, and you know, I'm gonna get them sold that way. You know, I could branch off my brand and also get the word out there that, you know, get the Daba name out there.
Before we leave, there are many youngsters watch you Instagram, Facebook, social media in general. You know, there's a lot of negative things happening with the youngsters nowadays, a lot of violence happening. What's some of the advice that a person like you that try to keep it positive could give youngsters to keep, you know, in a more productive?
Well, I can only speak from my experience. You know, the devil finds work for idle hands. So all I can say is that find a passion and go after it. And you know, no matter what anybody says, just go after your dream, and that should keep you focused. Focus on making a living, supporting your family. You know, they love you. So once you find means of making income to support them, support yourself, and once you make money, that puts you in a position to help other people. So no, it's not only you that's on the line, it's other people you have to think about. So no, let that be your motivation to find something positive to do. And also that will help you to build your dream and build your empire, make you a better person. You know, focus on things like that.
Okay. Well, Dario, I want to thank you very much for coming. It's a very interesting conversation.
I want to thank you for featuring me on Being Featured. It's great to be featured with my features. Big up to all the school children and teachers.